Hi, it's your Panda Big Sis. Let's talk about passing. Is passing important for trans people? Well, that depends on the context in which you're asking that question, and it also depends on the individual trans person. It'll be highly subjective to them. So what is passing? Well, passing is when a trans person passes as the cisgender they're transitioning to. So a male to female transsexual who looks like a female would be said to be a passer. They're passing as cisgender female. This mindset can be a little problematic, just a little, because it reinforces the idea that a trans person's goal is to somehow dupe society, to trick society, and that's just not true at all. So I do think maybe we need to rethink the wording and dismantle some of the mindset surrounding passing. But there are legitimate reasons to want to pass. For example, many trans people have gender dysphoria. Not all, but many have dysphoria, and to them personally, passing is what eases that euphoria, that dysphoria, because they feel validated. Being seen as cisgender validates them, and that eases their dysphoria. There's also a safety issue. Being visibly trans increases your chances of being hate crimed, and being seen as cisgender comes with certain privileges and protections that you otherwise wouldn't get on the streets. So the concept of passing and wanting to pass itself is not toxic or a problem. The problem arises when passing is assumed to be the end goal of every trans person, and you're not valid as a trans person until you pass. That's when it starts getting a bit problematic and a bit silly and dumb if you think about it. I used to run in trans circles where a popular opinion was, if you're trans you shouldn't wear skirts or girl clothes until you pass, because looking like a man in a skirt is a bad image for trans people. There's something silly like that. Not optics, but optics. How's that right? And how does that even make sense? Well, what is a skirt? It's a piece of cloth. What's a t-shirt? A piece of cloth. What's a trousers? A piece of cloth. So what's the difference? Who made a rule that one piece of cloth is for males and another piece of cloth is for females? How weird is it to gatekeep pieces of cloth between genders, sexes, whatever? So the idea that you have to look like a cisgender female to enjoy wearing skirts, I don't like that. And it's not just transphobia there, it's kind of misogynistic too. If a cisgender female doesn't look feminine enough, she's not allowed to wear skirts either, or dresses. Or if a cisgender female looks, stereotypical female by white European beauty standards, does that mean she's not allowed to dress unfemininely? Oh, you look too feminine to dress in jeans, and now you have to wear a skirt, lady. That's kind of the mindset, the concept of gatekeeping, being allowed to express your gender only to those who pass as the cisgender they're transitioning to. For me, personally, I transitioned without dysphoria. I didn't have dysphoria when I first started transitioning, so I wasn't really thinking about whether I'd pass or not until I was into transition. I found it was several months into transition I realised that I did want to pass, and I've been thinking about this past few days, why I actually want to pass, and why my personal end goal is wanting to pass. And the only answer I can come up with for myself is I want to pass for societal acceptance. I feel like a girl. I want to be a girl. And passing and looking like a stereotypical cisgender will have society treat me the way I feel I want to be treated. And I realised how kind of sad that is. And shouldn't people be accepted and treated as who they are, regardless of what they look like? I mean, if somebody doesn't look like a phenotypal Anglo-Saxon, we don't say, sorry mate, you don't look English enough, get out this country. You don't belong here because you don't look English enough. You know, when it's put like that, it seems a bit weird, doesn't it? Sorry, tranner, you don't look cisgender enough. Get out of our trans circles. It is the same thing, is it not? You're not valid. You don't look female enough. You don't look cisgender enough. Now, I don't think I like that anymore. I don't think I like that mindset. So, is passing important? Oh, sure. On an individual level, if it eases your dysphoria, then of course it's important to you. If it allows you to walk to the shops and back safely without getting a knife in your gut, and then again, of course, it's extremely important to pass. But is passing what makes you valid as your sexual identity, your gender identity? Then no, passing is not important. You are what you are. You are what you feel. You are what you are in your heart and your mind. You don't have to pass as a female to be a female. If you feel like you're female and want to be female, then you're already female. Passing is not important for you to know that, of the people to accept you, and I think that's the point. I think rather than focusing so much on passing being a mandatory end goal for trans people, the mandatory end goal is to change society's oppressive view on this, to change transphobic attitudes, to change misogynist attitudes, to change silly primitive cultural norms like gendered pieces of cloth. If a non-passing trans woman wants to wear a skirt, let her wear a damn skirt. She should be allowed to wear a skirt and walk down the street without harassment. She should be allowed to just express herself and be herself, regardless of what she looks like. Personally, I'm finding the idea of gender clothes a bit silly and stupid and really dumb these days. Anyway, I mean, why shouldn't boys wear skirts? My boyfriend's a femboy, he wears skirts. You don't have to be a woman to wear a skirt, and you don't have to be a man to wear jeans. So how does it make sense to gatekeep non-passing trans women from wearing skirts? Sometimes the trans community focuses on reactive things, the public opinion. We have to cater to public opinion. Don't wear skirts if you don't pass in public because it makes us look bad. We need to fight for our acceptance. Now, it's wrong and it's backwards. It's not us have to modulate ourselves in order to please society. It's society that needs to change. Trans women don't owe you hyperfemininity. And if you don't like the way a trans woman looks, well, that's your own bigoted problem. Go cry about it. Lloyd, that's the Leaf Lovers on the bar. I'm going to dismantle you.